I'm Ralph Lane.
Ralph Lane, who's part of the group that sponsors.
Yeah, Lane said it. Anyway, I wanted to comment on one comment on something you said earlier, which in a way changed the subject. So I should tell you that my own spiritual counselor for the last 16 years has been a sister of the Sacred Heart, who was librarian here at Long Mountain many years ago. But, and from her, I have learned things I never really had. I was a sociologist. I never really had much exposure to theology. And she really has done a fantastic job of opening my eyes. But that's an aside. You said, as a sort of joke, that women, that where a woman is in a parish, that first sermons are preferred to those of the priests who come by monthly. There is, I'm sure you're acquainted with the work of Ruth Wallace,
Yes.
who in fact documents the fact, precisely that point, that churches in which women are pastors and playing the pastoral role in the fullest sense of that word, even though they cannot officiate at certain sacraments, are much preferred to the priest, except for the fact that they like to have communion. And that when the priest does appear, they in fact, not as a joke, they really do prefer the woman because in fact she is more in tune with what their lives are about.
Yeah, and in fact, she's often part of the community.
Yeah.
You know, and so the priest, he's a circuit rider. He's often coming in, especially in where Ruth Wallace did this wonderful book called "They Call Her Pastor," and she interviewed, I think, about 25 women who were in this position, mostly in sort of in the Midwest, but also, the North Central Plain states. Yeah, and it's helpful to be reminded that it's really what we're talking about, like in response to the first question earlier. It's already happening.
So I'm the last full of both. I grew up before Vatican II and never could have predicted Vatican II, nor having the kind of counsel I have that has introduced me to fantastic work. And I think that when I say the glass half full, I think that the crisis, which the financial crisis, for example, is going to produce major structural changes. It may not appear, when you talk about Bishop's fear, I think the fear, a lot of it is financial. They're afraid, of what's going to happen with the amount of money that's been spent already. And this is going to, in fact, make the church, in its hierarchical sense, collapse in no time at all. I stood with the then Mayor of Berlin and his wife in 1989 at the wall in Berlin, and I asked them, when is the wall coming down? And Anna said, Mama said, not in my lifetime. And that fall, the wall came down. So that's my thoroughly optimistic view.
The way you framed your argument at the beginning, I thought was interesting. What I heard you say was that in this conversation, we're not going to talk about the male priesthood as such. We're just going to raise the issue of why these particular gifts in the three areas are reserved for that office. Let me push you a little bit.
Yeah.
Why is anything reserved for that? I mean, I understood the argument. You picked these three areas. You couldn't go on to say, and then if you had more time, it'd be the fourth, fifth, and sixth, and seventh area. What is the justification for the priesthood, if any, for the male priesthood?
Well, it's exactly what we've been talking about. That the priest is in a marital relationship with the church. I mean, to be honest, the Vatican document, we talked about this in the class this morning, it's not scripture. Because the scriptural scholars themselves said, look, there's arguments on this side, there's arguments on that side, there's no definitive argument. The old argument of Thomas Aquinas that women are lack eminence of degree. I think that's the actual term that Aquinas uses. Women, because of our inferior makeup, and he's basing it on this kind of recipient. So they have to do away with that. That doesn't work. The scriptural argument doesn't work. And then the argument about natural resemblance. They tried that, but that didn't go over at all. What do they mean by natural resemblance? And so what they are left with is this idea, this is my take on it, they're left with this idea that God has, that God's relationship with the church is a relationship of marriage, essentially, in that God as the active principle is the source of all that is. And so in this, it's a kind of a metaphor, it's a literalized metaphor, which is a metaphor itself that kind of picks up, I think, on a very incomplete and sometimes faulty understanding of biology. And so, if you want my quite honest way of saying it, there is no adequate argument against the ordination of women, except maybe tradition. And, we had a tradition of slavery, we had a tradition of all kinds of other things. So I don't think there is an argument. And in fact, I think a lot of people in the church know that there is no adequate argument this way. And so what can they do? I mean, Cardinal George, the Archbishop of Chicago, I mean, he made this comment one time. Of course women could do all the things that men do. I mean, it's not a question of function, it's a question of being. And so it's this whole idea of the sexual differentiation being something ontological. And if you really want to push it all the way, it's basically saying God is male. And that in order to represent God, the altar is God to be male. And so, and I think that is no theological argument. I think it's idolatry and heresy. But it gets, I mean, now you're hearing my thing. It gets kind of dressed up in a way, and it would, of course. I mean, think what would happen. I don't think if you ordained women that we would just become clones of, things would change. I mean, I think once you begin to break down not only, you challenge this, but I mean, even breaking down the whole idea of, and I did this in an article some years ago, this idea of why an equal marriage was thought to be so dangerous by the Vatican in the 30s and the 40s. Well, gosh, if you start talking about that, then are you starting to talk about the church? Having an equal voice. So to my mind, the argument is not an adequate theological argument unless you want to buy into this whole theological anthropology that women and men are basically different species.